Hey, okay, so welcome to the LittleKuriboh Unabridged panel, which means I will be talking way too much. Or not enough, depending on your definition of that. But, so I am LittleKuriboh. I made Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. I also made the Naruto fandom spoof series show. I'm responsible for the voice of Frieza on Dragon Ball Z Abridged, also the narrator. I've done a bunch of other things that you may not like on the internet. I apparently ruined various fandoms on Tumblr. One thing that I am responsible for recently that I'm very proud of is I went to a convention called Connell Delete in Chicago last month, and Vic Mignogna was there. I only mention this because he and I have sort of a weird, sort of on and off again, like faux rivalry. Not that I'm like even fit to dust his boots or anything like that. But at my panel, for some reason, I think I encouraged it actually. I don't remember exactly what happened, but every time there was a really bad joke or just a joke, I encouraged the crowd to laugh like Tidus from Final Fantasy X. So every time, yeah, somebody over there knows me. Every time there was a certain joke, the whole crowd would go, ha, 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 ha. And I told everybody in the crowd, if you could please do that laugh every time Vic Mignogna makes a joke on one of his panels, I would appreciate it a great deal. And they did. It was the last panel of the weekend, and I'd completely forgotten that I asked him to do it. So Vic makes this joke because we're in this room, and it's on a college, it's like a hotel campus, but they have like a room set up like a college, like what do you call them? Like a lecture hall, and all the fans are sat in like student seating, and he's like, oh hey everybody, this is Chemistry 101. I want you all to get your textbooks out, and they all just sit silently, and then like half a second passes, and they go, ha ha. And Vic's so like, what just happened? It was one of the greatest moments of my life. Aww! Who awed that? That is the greatest. Wouldn't you be proud to do that? Thank you. Aww. It's a good awe, right? It's a great awe. Yeah. One off the bucket list. Speaking of bucket lists, I went to Alcatraz 2 days ago, and I got to urinate on Alcatraz Island. Definitely one of my bucket list moments, for sure. I had a folder. Here we go. So, recently, at the similar convention, it was about a week before, called Another Anime Con. It was Yamacon, and it was in... I forgot the name of the place. Snow everywhere, that's all I remember. But I had the... Detroit? No, it wasn't Detroit. It's a D word, but I don't remember. There's a almost naked man right there that's distracting me. So, I said D word and I saw a naked man. But I had the honor, there was a group of cosplayers who do Doctor Who specific stuff, and they had this great Dalek, like a like an actual size Dalek. And they gave me the great honor of actually sitting in the Dalek and controlling it and moving it around while I was inside it. And in order to get inside the Dalek, you have to take the top half off and then just sort of sit in a little chair inside, like you're basically puppeteering it like R2-D2. And when I sat down, they pointed the camera at me and was like, smile! And I was like, I'm not smiling. That's what they want me to do. That's what they'd expect me to do. I'm gonna frown. And I did, and they took a picture of me frowning, and let me see if I can put it up on the screen here. Exterminate. That sort of went around Tumblr and became like a big deal. I'm known as Grumpy Kuriboh. And as things happen on Tumblr, when an image becomes popular, it gets photoshopped into various situations. So I thought I'd share some of my favorite photoshops of this image with you guys. This It's the saddest moment from Attack on Titan, made hilarious by my face. It's perfect because they're out of focus and I'm like the main focal point of the image. And it looks like a heart and I'm just there ruining the moment. It's beautiful. They're so not impressed with me being right in the middle of the little situation there. I don't know if you can see me very well, but I'm in the water right now. You'd think that they would go for the obvious and do a free screenshot or something like that, but they didn't. That's my one. This one? It's already on the internet, that's where I found it. Oh, the free one, that's a good idea. I love this because it's my favorite anime series, Evangelion. And it's one of the greatest moments because it's the moment where you wonder if your DVD player stopped working. It's a classic. And this has a story to it. If you've ever read Bobobo or seen Bobobo, the guy who created Bobobo is a huge Yu-Gi-Oh fan. And this particular part of the manga, Bobobo, he opens his hair, and Yami Yugi comes out and summons Slifer the Sky Dragon. So they replaced Yami Yugi with me, which is, I think, very appropriate. And this is from the Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. You can buy the t-shirt now on Shopify. That's actually me at any party ever. That's actually the secret of the Da Vinci Code right there, is if you decode the Da Vinci Code, you find out where my new episode is. That's me watching The Nut Job right there. Oh no. Hey! That's one of my favorite Attack on Titan moments, because that's the part where Eren's like, remember 5 years ago when your new episode came out? That's a bad joke. And there's the same thing. But yeah, feel free to make one of your own. If you go onto Tumblr and look up LittleKuriboh and submit them to me, and I'll put them amongst the various lists. Those are pretty cool, I enjoyed those. I'm going to take a seat. So, I'm LittleKuriboh, I make Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Have you guys seen Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged? Yeah! Have you seen Dragon Ball Z Abridged? Yeah! I'm involved with that, I didn't make it, but I'm very proud of being the Frieza in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and the narrator. And speaking of Frieza, after this convention I get to go home, let me move away from that mic a moment. I get to go home and record for a live-action short being made by the guys who made this very internet-famous Super Saiyan Saga trailer. And they're actually creating Frieza as a CGI character in this live-action short. I don't believe it's ever been done before. And the person designing Frieza is the lead animator from The Hunger Games and Avatar, the blue guys, not the M. Night Shyamalan movie. But I'm very honored to be even considered to play the role of Frieza in a production like that, because I really do like... I feel like that's one of the few occasions where I've actually had the chance to actually do some actual acting. Because with Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, I feel like I sort of just sit down in front of a microphone and say, I'm going to do some silly voices now, yes! Whereas with Frieza, it was a genuine attempt to create this character that sort of crossed the lines between scary and funny. And I feel like we did a fairly good job of it, but I sort of went into it very blind, because I'll be honest, I've never seen Dragon Ball Z. I know. What am I doing here? But I've seen enough to know, well, I've seen enough stuff floating around the internet to know that Frieza is kind of a big deal with anime fans. He's sort of like one of the eponymous villains of the anime genre as a whole. So getting a role like that given to me was very intimidating, but I really tried my best to sit down with it and really make something special out of it. And I feel like with the Team 4-Star guys, we really did accomplish something really cool with that. So I hope that you guys enjoyed listening to Frieza when he was still alive. He might show up again occasionally, but aside from that, I've done Dragon Ball Z Abridged, I'm in Hellsing Ultimate Abridged as a couple of characters, and I'm trying to be an actual professional voice actor. I was in the K-On! Movie as every British guy in the movie ever. Because they fly to London and they meet this sushi shop manager, and he's got this Cockney accent, and it's basically me being like, "Hey up, love, I'm the bloody sushi shop manager." And aside from that, I've narrated a few documentaries, one of which was about ancient Egypt, of all things. Which is like, some fan is going to sit down and watch this documentary and be like, "LittleKuriboh talking about ancient Egypt, and he's being serious. What the hell's happening?" You know, I'm trying to think. Anybody else know any of the projects I've been involved with? Because I always forget when I sit down. Naruto, that's right. That guy knows what he's talking about. Yes, I did the Naruto Abridged comedy fandom spoof series show, Sama Sensei Senpai Kun, and I'm very proud of that. I can't say a lot of the lines from that show in this panel because it's not 18 plus, but come to the 18 plus Naruto spoof series panel and I will have some stuff to say at that one. Oh, I'm also going to show a preview of my new Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged episode of this panel. I have unfortunately been rather busy and I've only been able to get the first 3 minutes done. It's going to be a long episode, but it's a good 3 minutes. And it's unfinished, there's no music or sound effects, so bear with me on that. I'll show that in about 20-25 minutes before... Yes, mix the sound effects as we go along, absolutely. Feel free to yell out the sound effects. But aside from that, yeah, that's... I always forget to introduce myself, and now I feel like I've introduced myself too much. You guys know way too much about me now. But are there any questions while we're here about anything? Yes. When am I making the next Naruto spoof, parody, fandom spoof series show, episode? I'm actually not working on an episode right now, but I am working on the new movie. The second Naruto movie, because I did the first one and I was very proud of that with M. Night Shyamalan. Yes, that's me, baby. Ow, wow, wow, wow. Thanks, man. I was a big fan of that movie. I didn't know I would have that much fun doing the movie of Naruto, especially since I know nothing about Naruto. The thing about the Naruto spoof is people always come up to me and say, "What are you going to do with this character?" Or "What are you going to do with this character that I've never heard of?" Because I don't watch the show. I watch it as I abridge it. So everything's kind of a surprise to me. But the good thing about the movies is they tend to involve characters that, you know, are made specifically for the movies. So with the Naruto movie, I had the lesbian princess, and I had M. Night Shyamalan, and I had Japanese George Lucas. And they were lots of fun to just goof around with and not worry about them coming back later and having continuity issues. So I sat down with the second movie, and it's been a lot harder this time because, first of all, there's no Sasuke and there's no David Bowie. So yeah, it's just Shikamaru, Sakura, and Naruto. And Shikamaru I've not really thought too much about, so I've had to derive a lot of the humor from the fact that Sasuke just isn't there. So Naruto will just refer to Shikamaru as Sasuke. Hey Sasuke, what do you think of this? It's me, I'm Shikamaru. That's a good point, Sasuke! You're so emo with your nonsense. But yeah, it's the movie's what I'm working on currently, and hopefully that will be out soon. I could show you a preview at my panel later if you come to the Naruto spoof panel. But I do want to do more episodes of Naruto spoof. It's kind of a guilty pleasure. You'd be surprised, there are some conventions I go to and I'll say, "I made Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged," and they'll be like, "Yay!" And I'm like, "I also made Naruto spoof," and they're like, "Yeah, come on, Naruto spoof!" And I'm like, "Oh," because I genuinely don't expect people to laugh at that, because I write that show for myself more than anything. Like, half of the jokes are just me being like, "Aha, this is funny because they said poop." But then people are like, "Yeah, that poop line, man, that was great." I actually cosplayed as Naruto a few times and stayed in character for an entire day. I had like a fake cigarette, and I would walk around confusing everybody, because like there would be people being like, "Since when did Naruto smoke?" And I'd be like, "Since forever, bitch!" It's a very fun character to get into the voice and everything. But yeah, expect more Naruto spoof content in the near future, hopefully. I don't like saying definitely. I say hopefully, because I can't promise anything, unfortunately. I do love making that show. Any other questions about any? Yes?
Is there a way to explain as safely for work as possible
yes.
why you decided to name one of your Unabridged episodes Step Brothers Sing?
Oh, that was one of the Noah episodes, right?
Yeah.
You know the answer already.
Vaguely.
So,
Yeah.
okay. I don't think there's a, I mean, there must be a safer word way, because I'll just say that it's porn. But there's an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge that I called Step Brothers Sin, which is the episode where Noah, is it Noah and Kaiba dueling each other? I believe it is.
Yeah.
It's the one where Noah and Kaiba duel, and then Yami takes over and wins.
Yeah.
Because he's Yami. But it's called Step Brothers Sin because there is a hentai called Stepmother's Sin. I like how that's possibly worse than Stepbrother's Sin. But it's called Stepmother's Sin, and it stars Dan Green, the voice of Yugi, involved with his stepmother. And I believe that's the one where he uses a banana at some point. I'm not saying what it's for, so it's completely safe for work. But I figured, you know what? Because Kaiba and Noah are stepbrothers, and Kaiba has technically sinned by usurping Noah's role as the head of Kaiba Corp, so it makes sense out of context. But if anybody were to look up the context, they would be horrified beyond belief. Were you horrified beyond belief?
I wasn't really as surprised as they probably should.
You've seen some stuff.
Yeah, you watched your show.
I wonder if there's hentai versions of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Screw the rules. I have money. I'm sure there's something out there. I know there's fan fiction about it. I've written some. But I don't know. But yes, that was basically the reason behind Step Brothers Sin being a title. And it's as bad as you might think. I advise you all watch anything that Dan Green has voiced that isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! Is really weird. No, because he'll often use the Yami Yugi voice. He used the Yami Yugi voice in Sonic. Because he kind of uses the Yami Yugi voice as Knuckles. He's sort of a more urban version of Yami Yugi. He's in Utena, Revolutionary Girl Utena, basically doing the Yami Yugi voice. And I advise you to look up this movie called The Little Panda Fighter. Have you guys heard of this? No. I probably did mention it. So if you guys have seen Kung Fu Panda, which is a great DreamWorks movie, I'm actually a big fan of that movie. Yeah. A lot of people will do like rip-off versions of these movies.
Asylum.
There's one version of Asylum, is that the company?
Yeah, they're the ones that do most of them.
There's like Transmorphers and stuff like that. But a lot of people will do like versions of B-Movie and Cars, which are just these really, really lame, low-budget CGI movies based on the popular ones that people will, the companies who make them expect you to get fooled into buying them. And Dan Green was in this one called The Little Panda Fighter, which is about a CGI panda who really wants to be a ballet dancer. And he gets into a boxing match with another bear, and he wins by doing his ballet moves. It's really bad. And I really highly recommend seeing it because it's Dan Green doing his, not his Yami Yugi voice, but his Yugi voice. And I kind of wish I could show you it, but I don't think we'd have time. But it's really, like, the voice of Yugi's in it, the voice of Meowth is in it, the voice of Odeon from Yu-Gi-Oh! Is in it. It's a big 4Kids mess of voice actors, and it's really, really hard to sit through. It's probably harder to sit through than Stepmother's Sin, which is weird because that has some stuff going on in it. But Little Panda Fighter, I highly recommend it. I think you can find the whole thing on YouTube. It's very, very, very awful. It might be on Netflix too. Yeah. Somebody on this side of the room. Anybody have a question? Yes, right.
What do you think is the biggest factor that influenced the popularity of Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series?
What was the biggest factor and influence of the popularity of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged?
Yeah.
You guys are the biggest influence of the popularity of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. I do mean that, 100%. Because I have never made any real attempt to promote myself or my show. I know that sounds weird because I'm sitting here at a convention as a guest and I'm like, I never promoted my show. But you guys really did take the ball and ran with it as far as I'm concerned. Because when I first started making Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, I posted it on this forum called Play the Damn Card on LiveJournal. And I posted it expecting maybe 10 or 12 people to care about it. And that would have made me happy, you know. I would have been very, very humbled by the fact that, you know, a few dozen people enjoyed it and chuckled at it. But I sat there and I watched, like, it got like 15 replies and they were like, you should do more of this, you really should. And I was like, okay. And I did episode 2 and I did episode 3 and more people kept responding to it and more people kept watching it. And I was like, oh wow, people care, you know, people really do actually enjoy this. You know, maybe why not do a few more? And by episode 6, it had like 100,000 views on YouTube, which these days doesn't sound like a lot, but back then I was a guy who had been making really terrible webcomics that were watched by maybe 5 people, and this was like opening a door and seeing like those stormtroopers in A New Hope, you know, Han Solo running down the corridor and being like, why are these people here? You know? And I was very, very overwhelmed by the attention that it got, to the point that I would upload the episodes and then I would hide because I was very afraid that people wouldn't enjoy the new one and they would come after me with pitchforks and torches and try and kill me for it. But I do remember it was around episode 6 that there was a thread on Penny Arcade's forums called Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series, and they were calling it either the greatest thing in the world or the dumbest thing in the world. And I was like, they're talking about me! That's me! And I was very, very humbled by it because I knew that I hadn't really tried at all to put it out there as a big thing. I was just showing it to fellow Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans. So knowing that, all I could imagine is that the people who watched the videos were being like, telling their friends about it, and they would tell their friends. So I have to give it to you guys. You guys are the reason that I'm even a thing. So I want to thank each and every one of you for that. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And also the people who made Yu-Gi-Oh! They were a small part of that. Did someone say cheers? I thought somebody who made Yu-Gi-Oh! was going to cheers, mate. So, in the blue, way over there.
All your projects and everything you've worked on, what was the most fun out of all?
Oh, Naruto the Abridged Comedy Fandom Spoof Series Show is one of the funnest things I've ever been able to work on. Just because I can be completely uninhibited and not worry about offending people, although I do worry about it. But I basically get to yell into the microphone about things, and that sounds funny for some reason! And like the characters are just so much fun to goof around with, because Sasuke is just me not trying at all. I have absolutely no emotion in my voice, and I'm just talking in my regular speaking voice, and there's no effort in it whatsoever. Nah. And then you have Sakura, which is just a generic girl voice, and then you have David Bowie, which is David Bowie, and I love David Bowie. So it's basically me trying to entertain myself, and for some reason everybody else likes it too. Like, those episodes have millions of views, and I don't know why. I think it's the poop jokes. I really don't know. Dragon Ball Z Abridged is a lot of fun to voice for, because I get to hang out with my friends on Skype while we do it, and they know what they're doing, you know, and they know Dragon Ball Z, and they know what they're going for when they write the show, and they bring me on and they have me voice these characters and they direct me, and it's incredible because I don't know what I'm doing, you know, so they have to guide me, and I feel very safe when I'm doing it, because they know how to get it out of me, you know, they know how to get the performance that they want from the characters that I'm voicing, and I'm usually flying blind, and so but I feel like, you know, because they know what they're doing, I know what I'm doing as a consequence, so it's really cool to feel that, you know, because even when I'm making Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, I sometimes don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but with them I feel like almost as if, you know, I'm almost in their mind in a way, because they're guiding me with the direction and everything. I also like doing the Let's Plays. I do Marek Plays Bloodlines, that's a lot of fun. Because it's just me. Marek Ishtar is basically me as a 15-year-old boy. I didn't dress like that when I was 15. But as a child, I was very loud and obnoxious, and I would come with very, very silly ideas. I didn't steal anybody's leather pants. But I had very stupid thoughts entered my brain, and I would yell them out loud to the rest of the room. And basically, I get to just be a child for like an hour and just record myself playing video games, which, you know, how can you not enjoy doing that? It's weird because I haven't really mentioned Unabridged, but I stress out quite a bit making that because what is that music? Is it Christmas? What is that? What was it? It's gone. It heard me, it knows that I'm listening. What was it? Was it somebody in the room?
Yeah.
Who was it?
It was a call by somebody.
Huh?
It was a call from him.
It was a call. Can I answer the phone?
Text.
It was a text. That's the longest text tone I've ever heard. You have a text message.
The screen got stuck, I couldn't turn it off.
Huh?
The screen got stuck.
Oh, can I call them? No?
It's my girlfriend over in Artist Alley.
It's your girlfriend in Artist Alley. Okay, I won't harass her while she's been. You want me to call?
She really likes you.
She really likes me. His girlfriend? Who is it?
There's no signal.
There's no signal. That's rubbish, isn't it?
I have signal.
You got signal?
Yeah.
Can I call somebody? Who am I calling? Who am I calling? He just gave me his phone. Am I calling Heather?
Yeah.
Okay.
Speakerphone.
Let me see if I can go on the speakerphone. There we go. You guys hear that?
That's speakerphone.
You gotta end the phone the other way to speaker.
This way? Hello? Oh. Hello? Heather Ray! This is Marek Sebastian Ishtar III at Animation on Display. You're at Animation on Display as well. You're in the Artist Alley. But listen, I have a very important message for you. The crowd is going to give it to you. After 3, would you guys say kill your family over and over again? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. By now your family should be dead. I will alert the authorities. Thank you very much, Heather. Have a good convention, by the way. Enjoy prison! Is that okay? Is that okay? Listen, you have signal too. Let's do it really quick. It's gone. Oh. Let's do one more prank call. Your phone is your friend. Okay. There we go. Is it on speaker already? Where is the speaker? Is it at the bottom?
If you want me to get back to you, otherwise if I don't recognize your number, I'll be back to work. And I'll get back to you as soon as I can say somebody.
There we go.
Yeah.
Please record your message. Recording.
Oh, wow, wow. Erica's a smelly girl. Oh, wow, wow. Answer the frigging phone. Answer your frigging phone. Ga, ga, la, la, la. Cha, cha, cha. Ga, ga, fra, fra, fra. Answer your frigging phone. Erica, listen. Listen, I'm at Animation on Display, and I just wanted to say I'm not a telemarketer, despite your suspicions, but I am an evil, sexy villain. And I just wanted to let you know I was going to challenge you to a card game, but you hung up the phone, so I am the winner by default. Cheer for me!
Excellent. You lose the card game because you smell, and I have your leather pants now. Thank you very much. Bye. Kill your family, by the way.
Excellent. That's kind of my default voice that I go to when I do prank phone calls. In the aisle right there.
Okay, the dangerous box.
Yes.
What even is that?
Oh gosh. Okay. So this is from the Naruto spoof series. I did a side video for the show where Irika, the sensei guy, he created this thing called the dangerous box that gives its opinion on things, and it doesn't tend to like them very much. I can't say what it says on a Universal Family G-rated panel, but it involves the F word. But I put it at the end of all my episodes as sort of a trademark logo, and the reason it's there is because there's this group of guys called the Box of Danger who were Abridgers who made a Pokemon parody, and they tended to not like anything that I did. But strangely enough, after I made that video, they thought that it was the funniest thing they'd ever seen. So I kind of ingratiated myself to them by making fun of them. I kind of like to think that's how people work, though. I kind of like to think that people in general have enough of a sense of humor that if you were to make fun of them, I think that they would warm to you more. That's how I got with my wife, anyway. I make fun of her a lot, and she tends to appreciate it. But I don't know. Personally, I feel like if somebody made fun of me, it meant that they cared enough about me to even think about me to do that, you know. That's my feeling about the whole thing. But the Box of Danger, the dangerous box is basically a reference to Box of Danger, and weirdly enough, it's become a big deal and is more widely known than they are. So I feel bad in a way. I always do kind of feel bad. Like Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged in a way is I wouldn't say it's more well known than Yu-Gi-Oh! But it's known enough that whenever you mention Yu-Gi-Oh! People tend to think of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged at the same time. So it's hard to separate the two at times. And for people who are, you know, purely into Yu-Gi-Oh!, I kind of feel like it must be very frustrating because you can't really talk about Marek Ishtar without thinking of, yes! It's me! I'm a sexy guy. Very sexy, that's right, thank you very much. But I don't know, I also kind of think that in a way, you know, parodies are great tributes to the originals, so I don't think of it as insulting, I think of it as an homage more than anything, and that's what I was trying to do with the Dangerous Box, was give an homage to them because they hated me so much. So that's what I was trying to go for. We'll do one more question and then we'll show the preview for the new episode. How about that? Front row right here.
Will you be doing more season 0 soon?
Hell yeah! I will definitely be doing more season 0. I don't want to stick strictly to the chronology. I don't want to do it in order, strictly because I feel like it's a show that you don't really have to watch in order. The only real episodes you need to watch in sequence are when Kaiba's introduced and then when he does the Death Tea tournament. Those are really the only ones that call back to each other. So I kind of like to skip around with that one. And I'd kind of like to do the Bakura episodes next, because he's a popular character and he's never really been in the limelight. Like even when he dueled Yugi in the Shadow Realm and they were all in the cards and everything, he wasn't really the main focus of that episode. So I'd kind of like to do an episode where Bakura is a main character, finally.
He's already in the limelight.
British people aren't in the limelight, unless you're in a TARDIS or unless you're solving mysteries with Watson, you're not in the limelight. I'm sorry. He's in the, oh, yeah, that was a bad pun. The limelight. Oh. I'm sorry, I just got that. Thank you. I might. But yeah, I definitely want to do another Season 0 episode very soon. Because the last time I made one was early 2013, so it's been almost a year. So it's about time I do one, really. But probably with the Bakura episode. I do have a lot of fun with Season 0, because I get to turn everything on its head. So Yami is a psychopath. And Kaiba is a nice guy. And Mokuba's the evil one. And who knows what I'll do with Bakura. Maybe I won't even make him British. I don't know. That would be good. He has to be British. I was thinking of making him Tim Curry. I know, even more British than he already is. But definitely doing a Season 0 soon.
If you're looking for a British guy, hire Gary Oldman. He's British.
I'm sure Gary Oldman would be jumping at the chance to voice Bakura in Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series. And he plays all the villains as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's more general in Kung Fu Panda.
He is, yes. Okay, so let's see if I can get this video set up. Now, I could act it out. Let me just try and go from memory. Okay, so it opens and it has the Yami Yugi zooming in with the cards going by, you know how it does. And he says, by the time you finish watching this episode, our YouTube account will probably be down. See ya! And then it cuts to Joey on top of the dual tower, and he comes up to Yugi and he says, "Hey, what's the big idea, you? Why did you leave my duel why did you leave in the middle of my duel with Kaiba?" And Yami looks at him and says, "I'm sorry, Joey. I had to go deal with a very annoying subplot. What did I miss?" And Joey goes, well, I totally beat Kaiba. Yeah, that's what happened." And Yugi says, "Really? How did you deal with his crush card virus trap card?" And Joey goes, baby dragon." "Really? Well, how did you deal with his enemy controller card?" And Joey goes, time roulette go." And Yugi goes, "Oh, great strategy, Joey. It must make you really proud of yourself to have won the coveted bronze medal." Bronze medal, that's a classic. And Tristan puts his arm around Joey and goes, "I'm really proud of you for beating Kaiba, Joey. You're my hero." And Joey goes, "Shut up, Tristan." And Yami's laughing throughout the opening. "Kawaii-ta, sakebida." And you hear Yami going, "Oh." Classic. Then Melvin's there and he goes, "What's up, father muckers? Pharaoh, I can't wait to crush you." And Yami says, "And I can't wait to defeat you in a trading card game, thereby stopping you from doing anything evil ever again. Because that's how that works." And Melvin goes, wait, is it Melvin? I'm so sorry. And Melvin says, Yami says that, and then Melvin said, "Frick, I'm so sorry." Let me see if I can load this yet. Oh wait, it's loaded. There we go. Hey, I actually have the script now. Okay. And Melvin says, "This," oh wait, he says the evil ever again line, and then Melvin says, "This from the guy who had slaves build him his very own pyramid." And Yami says, "That was a birthday gift from me to me. And besides, my slaves were treated extremely well. Only half of them died from excess whipping. The rest of them died from overexposure. I was a very merciful guy. Trust me, I won't be." And then Kaiba throws Yugi a card and says, "Yugi, use this card to defeat Marek." And Yami says, "Do you really have to throw them like that? I mean, really?" If you've seen the way Kaiba throws cards, you can imagine. And then Kaiba says, "Yes." And Yami says, Kaiba, I'm not entirely sure how I'm supposed to use Waterpon to defeat Marek, but I'll take your word for it. That's not a Waterpon card. I don't even have Waterpon in my deck. Funny, because this particular Waterpon card has the words, property of Seto Kaiba, do not use my favorite Waterpon or else. This means you, Mokuba, my brother, I am Kaiba, on it. Fine, try using this. Oh, yes. Yes, you're right, Kaiba. If I draw this card, I shall surely defeat him. Nice, I like it. I'm going to win with this card, yes. And then Melvin's staring at him the whole time. And Yami says, this card is nothing special. I have absolutely no advantage in this duel. Way to go, Kaiba, building me up for nothing, you silly person. Kaiba, I think he's buying it. You've got such a good poker face, Yugi. Yes, I do. What's poker? It's what I'll be ramming into your lower intestines when I'm done with you in this ultimate card game, Pharaoh. Okay, you. And then there's a shot of, if you've seen the episodes, Melvin is shuffling his cards like an insane person, and he's just staring at Yugi the whole time, not looking down, and goes, I don't even need to look at my cards while I shuffle them, Pharaoh. And then Yami's doing the same thing, but he's got a really serious, casual look on his face. shuffling them like this. He's like, neither do I, Marek. But cards are flying everywhere. And Marek's like, you dropped it. You could. No, I didn't. I am extremely good at this. Look at my nimble fingers, and he's dropping even more of the cards. And then Melvin said, you should probably watch what you're doing. And then it cuts back to Yami. He says, king of games, bitch. But there's cards flying literally everywhere at this point. Okay, we have time for a little bit more. And then Ishizu looks at Kaiba and says, thank you, Kaiba. And Kaiba says, for what? Giving the pharaoh your card was an incredible display of faith. You finally believe he is destined to defeat my brother. I believe that about as much as I believe that there's a minimum wage for my employees. Look, Ishizu, Yugi is no pharaoh. I can't allow myself to accept that. Why? Because you don't believe in magic? No, I just don't believe in people who are richer and more powerful than me. Beat that Marek creep, Yug!
Yeah, beat him like Joey beat Kaiba.
What? Nothing! And then Melvin casts his hand to the sky and the Shadow Realm starts to appear and he says, Swiggity Swagger Realm, welcome to the Shadow Realm! You know, it's really more of a purple realm than a shadow realm. Since I'm about to end you, Pharaoh, shadows aren't really purple. I think it's only appropriate that I remind you what you're fighting for. Say hello to my Valentine! And then Mai comes down from the sky in a giant, hourglass crystal thing. And she goes, Rawr! And Yami looks up and goes, hello, Mai! And then she goes up again and goes, Rawr! And Yami goes, bye, Mai! And now meet my next victim, your very own hetero life mate, Yugi Moto! Yugi, you have... Oh, for those of you who don't know, Yugi is up on, in a crucifix position, hanging in the middle of thin air. And Yami goes, Yugi, you have your own body! Yugi says, Marek must be using fanfic powers. He truly is our most evil adversary. Then Melvin says, behold, my weaker self is also at stake in this duel. And it's got Marek hanging from thin air as well. And Marek goes, yes, I will be your best friend, Superman, yes. Let me skip to some of the good stuff, because we only have like a minute left. Do we have time for a little bit more? Okay, 1 minute.
6 minutes.
6? No, we have to wrap up things early, unfortunately. Trying to find a really good part. Make up something.
That's how you write half your episodes anyway.
Huh? Oh, I know. Okay, this is one of my favorite parts, but it's more about the delivery, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off. But, for those of you who've seen the episode, Melvin has summoned Metal Reflect Slime, which has created an exact duplicate of... This isn't funny at all when you describe it. But he's created an exact duplicate of the Obelisk the Tormentor, and he's basically like just a really shiny version of that card. And Yami goes, no way! Where did you catch a shiny Obelisk? Did you catch that from my friend Safari? And Melvin goes, no, you just saw me use Meta Reflect Slime to summon the... I am so jelly! We should trade, let's trade! And you hear Kaiba off on the side going, I just gave you that card, don't trade it! And Yami goes, I'ma trade it! And Kaiba goes, no!
Silence! Now all you can do is wait for me to resummon my Winged Dragon of Ra, and then this game is over!
I throw in a water pond for that shiny obelisk. Don't you dare trade my water pond! I'ma trade it! No!
Everybody shut the frig up and be intimidated by me!
I'm scared.
Great, look what you did. You scared Tristan. Are you happy?
Yes! I'm very frigging happy! I'm the happiest kid in the world! I feel like I'm in frigging Legoland right now! What do frigging do? I could just explode with happiness! That's how frigging happy I am!
You don't look very happy.
Ah!
There we go, that's about all we have time for. I'm so sorry.
Mega,
stretching. I'm so sorry that we didn't get the video going. I wish I could have shown. Hopefully I can show it on my 18+ panel, but until then, thank you all for coming to Animation on Display. If I don't see you later, then please have the best weekend of your lives, and I hope you guys had fun.